Armored Core What Ifs. What if in Armored Core 4, Joshua O'Brien never betrayed Anatolia's Mercenary? A what if I am sure many links would like to have seen happen. So today that is what I'm going to explore. Let me set the scene. We know that by the end of Armored Core 4, Joshua is piloting the 00 Arethea attacking Anatolia. He says there is no need to say anything, and in the end he is killed by his friend. How could this have been prevented? After looking over the story once more, the point I feel our what if would take place is the destruction of Raelianard and Akavit. It's here that the famed Joshua has two choices. One being that the famed Joshua O'Brien fakes his own death during battle, much like the famous Link's Ostava would do years later. Or two, he flees during the battle, again, much like the same famous Links I just spoke about. Either way, Joshua O'Brien would betray all he loved to save himself. I say this, and it sounds very dramatic, but Fiona once said to her mercenary that he and Joshua are very alike. They both give up everything to protect the things they love. Joshua originally piloted the Aretha to save the place he called home, Aspina. But the truth is, I think it was safe to say even if Joshua had taken down his friend, Celio was on his way to kill Joshua. After all, they both proved to be links far more powerful than the average links any corporation had. And for these power-hungry enterprises who wanted absolute power, such people could not exist, as they needed power they could control, not bargain with. So with this in mind, how does it all go down? I think the fake death idea has a few ways of going. I will say, I think it will have had to be planned between the three of them beforehand, perhaps with the help of Anatolia's residents too, as escaping from a hostile zone when out of a next is sure to be no easy task, and when Orca did it, a lot of planning went into it. So I imagine it would be the same here, and with a lot more to go wrong. The issue that comes to my mind with this scenario is how Joshua is recovered, for unlike Ostava, there is no corporations pulling the strings, and so a lot more covert operations would have to happen to get him out. For a start, either the people of Anatolia have to somehow help Joshua escape by boat, submarine, plane, which could be quite a stretch to even pull off, since the location of Anatolia is never pointed out, while Akavit is said to be based in Northern Europe. An exact location is never given. As such, it's a large area to cover for one colony of people. Granted, Joshua could feed them the location, but I feel it's the time it would take to reach wherever Joshua is that is the sticking point here. There is so many things that could happen in that time, from Joshua being killed by pursuing Akavit forces, to even the rescue crew being shot down or sunk by the same people. There is too many ways this could go wrong, as such another idea is needed. The second scenario for the fake death I thought about is after Raylan is killed off by Anatolia's mercenary, they at once fly to rescue his friend, under the idea of taking over his job. This I feel is the more likely way things would go down, but again, while Nex are much faster than a transport on offer, the fact remains Joshua, out of a Next, is a very easy target to empty his tanks, and as such, it's that time between the rescues again that make me feel this would be possible, but it's still a little risky. So if a fake death is too risky, what about running away? Well, I believe this is more likely how this what if would go down. It's after the destruction of Akavit that Joshua suddenly flies off in his Next towards Anatolia, cutting off all radio contact with Aspina. Of course, this act alone would be enough to break the heart of Joshua, as he betrays his home knowing their fate is to be taken over or killed by the corporations. Still, he manages to reach Anatolia, and is either greeted by his host warmly, as expected, or with caution. I say this as while Fiona is sure to be happy to see her friend safe and well, Emil is not so happy, as he knows this will cause havoc in the politics of the world, and it is sure to lead Anatolia to become targeted by the corporations. Still, Joshua and White Glint are taken in by the colony, with Emil and his team doing what they can to fix both nests. However, the peace does not last long, be it a day or even just a few hours, as Celio will turn up with the Aretha in tow, most likely being used by a younger Julius Emery, who, while it is stated in her bio she affiliated with Raylinard, I don't think she ever did. In fact, I think her bio is the work of the League, who are painting her as a Raylinard supporter, when in fact Aspina has her acting this way to keep themselves afloat and in the good books of Omir, the puppet master of the League. But this is me going off track with my tinfoil hat ideas. Instead, focusing on this new fight, Joshua and Anatolia's Mercenary beat back and kill both Celio and the Aretha, leaving the corporations in the very same position they were when Joshua died. Beaten down and needing time to recover, the corporations back off for now, and Joshua joins Anatolia's Mercenary and Fiona as they leave mercenary work. The three head off, and 5 years later, Linearch now has 2 White Glints, the newest one piloted by Anatolia's Mercenary, and Joshua, who is still piloting his old White Glint. The 2 protectors of Linearch are still their trump cards, but I don't think the situation has changed overall from what we see in the world. Linearch is still on the back foot in every respect. The pair still have to do mercenary work to keep Linearch afloat, and in the end the pair do meet their end, be it by Strayed or Cube working with Ostava, and most likely a third Lynx as well, maybe Rhodey. But again, this is just one path. Maybe the 2 White Glints do win, but this leads the corporations to simply push back harder. This time they go all in. Ostava is already gone, so they simply march in full force and wreck Linearch and everything it owns. This would weaken the corporations, but with how the closed plan is set up, this may speed up GAs and the other less cooperative corporations to get back in line with the League. There is also the chance that Joshua and Anatolia's Mercenary start to fall out, friends that become foes, because Joshua can't stand working for a corrupt power. His past of losing his home changes him, Aspina gets in contact with Joshua. These and many other reasons could lead to the original White Glint to take sides with Orca as a replacement for Julius, where White Glint once again dances for Omir's master plan, only this time they do kill him, like all the other Orca members. And there you have it, my answers to the question, what if in Armored Core 4 Joshua O'Brien never betrayed Anatolia's Mercenary? What do you think about these scenarios? And if you have your own, feel free to share them in the comments.